welcome to my channel. My name is Theresa. If you guys know who I am, welcome. So today we are doing my favorite Morphe eye blending brushes. I was gonna do like just my favorite Morphe eye brushes, but that video would be pretty long, and the most important part of my eye look is, for me, blending brushes. So, and I do have quite a bit of them. These are not, obviously not all my blending brushes, but these are all my Morphe blending brushes. These are the ones that I use consistently. Like I have about 6 or 7 that I use on a regular basis. Like I don't use every single one of these to complete one eye look. Like today I used I think 3 or 4, but in order to do all like smoky eyes, cut creases, halo eyes, to do all those you need a bunch of different brushes. You don't need just one brush. One brush doesn't just do it all, right? So yeah, so today we'll be talking about my favorite Morphe blending brushes. Yeah, so if you guys like this video, don't forget, smash that like button, give it a big thumbs up. And before taking off today, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And without further ado, let's get on to the video. Okay. So I got my Morphe brushes just in this little container. As you can see, I have a ton more brushes. I even have more than that. These 2 are just blending brushes, but I lied, there's 8 blending brushes we're going to be talking about today. So I definitely need all these brushes. Like they look the same, like all these white ones. These look the same, but trust me, I promise you they're not. They're all different sizes and they're all for different things. So like some of them I just used and some of them are a little dirty, but that's okay. It shows that they're well loved. There's 2 different types of hairs. There's goat hair and synthetic hair. So I'm just gonna talk about my favorite brushes and how I use them and what I use them for. So probably one of the most popular brushes on YouTube that you probably heard a lot about in social media is the Morphe. This is the M441. So I love this brush. So this is a goat hair brush. It looks like this. Yeah, it's really long and fluffy, so it's really good putting on the first wash of color. So generally with this brush, I would use this, the first wash of color that I do. Like if I want to really blend it out, I'll either start off my look with an this is an M330, and this is a synthetic hair brush, and this one is a goat hair. If I really want like a lot of product on and I want it to look a little not so much blended in, I will use this one. It depends on what kind of eye look I'm doing, but generally I use this one. I'll start off, this one I use for my first wash of color. So right in that higher transition area, just my upper my upper crease, I will use this brush, and I'll just do little circles and windshield wiper motions with this brush. This is the brush I use for technically my first wash of color, because I really like it. It's really fluffy and it diffuses the product really good, the eyeshadow really good, and makes it look really seamless if you blend it really good. So that's my first brush. And then I'm going to talk about, yeah, so this is the M330. This is also a really popular brush on social media and YouTube. I really like this one too, because it kind of has like a little point on it, and so really good for just getting in that crease. Because I have hooded eyes, I have slightly smaller lids. So like, this is the MAC 224 compared to the Morphe M330. I find that the MAC 224 is just a little too big for me. Like because I have hooded eyes, I find my eyes are a little bit smaller, and this one is just, it's too big. I find it's too big, so I definitely like using the Morphe M330 instead of using this one. The one I tend to gravitate towards, either that one or the M441 for my first transition shade wash of color. And then the next brush I usually go in with, this one is the M513. So it's just a little bit thinner, like it's a little bit smaller than the first one, as you can see. It's a little bit smaller than the first one. I don't know if you can even tell, but it is. It's even shorter. So yeah, it's a little bit smaller. So I'll use the M513 for my second wash of color. So I will use this one. So a little bit lower down from the first color we used. So this one goes lower, as if you can tell what I'm doing, it goes bigger brush higher up, and it gets lower, it gets smaller as it goes lower and lower. This is my first watercolor, this is my second one. This one will apply a little bit darker, more color, a little bit underneath the first one. And then this one I wanted to mention, this is the M518. So this brush is really good for packing on just a lot of color in the crease, and you really like doing windshield wiper motions. So like say if you're only going to use one eyeshadow, this is really good for doing those windshield wiper motions and just packing on quite a bit of color. It's still really fluffy, but it's more, I'd say more wider, so it's just really good for doing windshield wiper motions and just getting a lot of color in that crease. Yeah, I don't use this one as much as I do the other three that I said. And then we got the M573. M573 is really similar to the M441. It's not as wide, like if you look this way, it's a little bit smaller. So depending on what, like how I'm feeling, I will use either one of these. So if I want it to be more blown out and more seamless and blended, I'll use the bigger one, and if I want it to be more precise, I'll use the M573. So it just really depends on what kind of look I'm doing, and it's all personal preference too, really. So these two brushes are probably like my favorite brushes out of all of them. I use these the most. So this is the M433 and the R39. So these are typically like pretty much the same brush, except they're not. I find that the M433, as you can see, I don't know if you can notice, the M433 is a little bit bigger than the R39. I use them both, but I really do like the R39 more because I just like the shape of it better, and it's more smaller for my eyes because I do have hooded eyes. So I tend to go for the smaller brushes as opposed to the bigger ones. So, but I definitely use this one too. This is, sorry, the M433 and the R39. So this is the Rose Gold collection. And all these brushes too, I forgot to mention, are like $6 to $8. So I do like this one, the R39, better, but they both will do the same thing. Just because I have both of them. So these are probably my most used brush because these are really good for packing color on the outer V, or like if you want to do like put a lot of color on like in your crease, like really carve your crease out with these, but I like to use this for the outer, putting on color, this color right on the outer V, and then maybe blending it in. So I love these brushes. These are the ones that are, I don't know if you see how compared to these brushes, the ferrule is pinched on the R39, which makes it more, not so fluffy and more tapered in. So it's really good for getting on the outer V and getting in, really carving out that crease. So last but not least, this is R34, and as you can see, it's really thin. So these hairs are synthetic, and a synthetic hair brush will put more, it'll put more product on as opposed to a goat hair brush. Synthetic hairs will really pack on color, and then you could typically blend it out with a goat hair brush. Like a goat hair brush will just blend it out and make it look more, you know, blended and seamless, you know what I mean? So, but I really like this one because see, it's really thin and like it's smaller, as opposed to this is the R34, the M330 in the middle, and then the MAC one's on the end. Yeah, so the R34 is really good because, like I said, I have hooded eyes, and I like using this a lot better than I like using the MAC 224. It's just way thinner, way smaller, way more slender, and it's really good. So I like to use it like if I'm doing like a cut crease, or I'll use this like for the first color in my cut crease for my transition color. If I want it to look really precise, and I want it to be a lot more noticeable or darker, I will use this. Sometimes I'll go in with this to really carve out my crease, and then I will blend it out with like a goat hair brush like the M573. I'll go in with this brush, and then I will blend it out with a goat hair brush. That's pretty much what I will do. So this one's really good for laying on that first color, or laying on, you know, dark color, precise color somewhere, and then blending it out, you know, with a goat hair brush is typically what I like to use this brush for. So yeah, so these are the synthetic ones that I use pretty much all the time. So these are my two favorites. So I'll use this. This is the M330 is a little bit bigger. It just really depends on what look I'm doing, right? And then the rest of them are pretty much goat hair. I really like the goat hair ones, but like I said, I need all of them. I know it seems like a lot of brushes, but they all do different things. But yeah, so those were my top 8 favorite Morphe blending brushes. So if you guys like this video and you found it helpful, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel before taking off today. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.